Um, Obviously, the big winner is St. Jude. So happy for all the fans that came out and made this a success for the hospital. Happy to see all the former players as well that came back. This was a special night. To the game, the first 10 minutes was a showing of who we really could be. The first half, we didn't finish well. The last 5 minutes, made some mistakes, but that's going to happen with the new team. The first 4 minutes of the second half were good, and then the next 10 minutes of that second half, they went to the mismatches. They went small. They kept changing lineups until they got what they wanted. We didn't match the energy, and then they pushed away, kind of got up 11. And then the last 5 minutes, to me, it was embarrassing because it's just, I think they scored 14 or 16 points in like 2 minutes or so, just all straight line drives and dunks. So that's definitely not acceptable, but that kind of messed up my night the last 4 minutes of the game because that's not how the game was going, and we just have to stay solid. But with a new team, we showed some signs in the first half that we can build on.
Penny in the back. Kind of on that note, obviously none of these guys were here for Alabama and North Carolina exhibitions last year and how those went, but then the season you guys had after that. Are you going to try to drill in that experience on your end to kind of just wash away the bad feelings that might have come from the second half tonight?
Well, yeah, obviously, this was more for them than me because in the locker room they were talking more and holding each other accountable, which they don't do all the time. And then we're in practice talking about, hey, you guys got to hold each other accountable more because I can see this happening when things start to go south with my team. I've seen it in practice, so you can give the warning signs all you want. I'm just glad it's an exhibition and not an NCAA tournament game that we can learn from. I'm not overly angry at this because I know I can fix this. My whole entire goal definitely is March and April. It's not October. So, great game plan by Arkansas. They executed their offense. They switched on defense and played really hard, and we just didn't match the energy in the second half.
Coach, welcome back, and kind of tell us, what did you like about your guards tonight, what you saw in the first half? What stood out to you?
Yeah, I like that they competed in the first half. Adversity is going to hit, and when adversity hit in the first half, we kind of sustained a little bit and then went into the half up. The second half, we didn't do so well. Bad shot selection, straight line drives, not covering for one another is what we believe. We believe in those things, doing those things, so we'll get better from it.
Coach, just what happened between the first half and the second half? For the first half, y'all were bringing the physicality to them, and then in the second half, that just flipped.
I think most good teams, when they get punched in the mouth, I think Cal did a great job of subbing the guys that weren't playing defense, the guys that weren't being physical. He sat them down, and he put a group on the floor with 4 smalls. I think in Brazil, I think Billy Richmond was one of the smalls, and they just turned their level up. Leak Thomas came off the bench and made 3 big threes and got going, and they got a bunch of stops. We started taking bad shots, and it stopped being about team, and it started being about me. And the second half, it was more about individuals than it was about team. But it's a new team. He really relied on the guys that played for him last year, and he put 2 freshmen in with those guys, and they did really well.
Hey, Coach, I know you try to do defense first. Just from what you've got at the practice court to what you've seen, do you see this team doing what you want to do philosophically going through the year? Yeah,
I think what you saw in the first 12 minutes of the game is who we're going to be. I really do. Guys just, you get bored with that type of stuff because you're winning, and then guys start taking bad shots, and momentum is everything. They gain momentum and never look back. We had it early and then didn't take advantage of it, and once they got it, that some of those guys, Billy, obviously DJ, Carter Knox, and Brazil were there last year when they started off slow. So those guys understand how to draw from one another like this isn't happening. They're trying to build the momentum. They played really well against Cincinnati and weren't playing well against us. And then they sustained long enough to hang around and then push away. And then with a new team, we just didn't know who to draw from on our team to make it work. And you got to do all the small things, and we just didn't do it.
Curtis, welcome back. This is your first real true moment in the blue and gray. So what did you take away from this whole week and also the St. Jude experience?
I took a lot from it, and just visiting St. Jude, it just made me made me realize how grateful we truly are and how blessed we truly are to have the lives that we have. And it was great to get to go to St. Jude and touch a numerous amount of kids' lives and see them smile. And I took a lot from that, and I went back home and prayed and I just realized how blessed and grateful we were.
This question's for Penny. You guys gave up 32 points in the paint during the second half. Is that a cause for concern going forward?
Right now, no. I mean, because we're building. Again, we got 15 new players, but I think, most coaches don't like it, but I said this to them a couple weeks ago. Don't wait until we get blown out to understand how important this is. You got a bunch of guys that have been in different systems, and we've been working hard since June, but you can just tell there was still some lack there, right? And then after this game, I just don't see it being there. We're going to keep coaching. I played 11 guys to try to see who played well together. Obviously, I wanted to win. I got a chance to see a lot of things tonight from the first half and the second half, so that's good for me. But it's never good when you give up that many points in the paint.
Penny, this was obviously an exhibition, so I'm sure you gave the guys a bit more leeway, but you still had 3 guys foul out in the second half, including Aaron, pretty early on there. Was that perhaps an indictment on how they could have handled the physicality better at certain points?
Well, I mean, we were a step slow in the second half. Again, they turned their levels up. They felt like, hey, man, we got to turn up our levels, and everybody did. All 5 guys on their team ran harder, cut faster, crashed the glass, did everything that they were supposed to do, and we just didn't match that level. Again, I got a chance to see it firsthand, and we'll definitely get better from it.
Doug, what sort of happened on that scuffle with Billy you had there in the middle of the game?
I mean, we both just want to win. He's protecting his teammate, I'm protecting mine, so I think it probably looked worse than what it really was, but we just protecting our team.
Penny, just a question about lineups and rotations. The guys you started today, is that something that you expect to run with into the regular season, or?
No, I'm changing the lineup. I had already said I was changing the lineup. I'm just working different rotations, and again, it's just I'm trying to see who works well together because these guys. Think about it. Simon just got here. Tariq just got here. Tierno is still new. We got pretty much all the guards, but most of the bigs showed up late. And we're still getting to know one another. So, again, I'm not making a big deal out of this because once I see it, and I saw it tonight, I know how to handle moving forward.
And with, I think, 10 different guys scored tonight, is that, you mentioned multiple times, like, by committee, right? Like this team, offense coming by committee. Is that still how you see it, playing 10, 11 guys, even when games start to matter?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, again, I'm watching tonight's game from the first half and the second half. Again, if you watch guys that really want to win, it really boils down to seven guys, maybe 8, that are going to go out there and do the things that you want them to do. And I'm trying to figure those guys out. That's why I played 11 guys.
Questions for Curtis and Doug. First one's for Curtis. Curtis, this is your first time playing in the FedEx Forum in front of the fans. What was it like for you?
It was great, just to be back home in Memphis and to just feel the love from the city and the energy in the building with this being the St. Jude game. So it was great, to go out there and compete with my teammates. So I felt really good about it. And, obviously we have to go back to practice and be better. But, I was glad to go out and compete with my teammates tonight.
Yes, sir. Doug, you're one of the leaders of this team and the point guard. What do you feel like this team needs to do going forward to be winners?
To be honest, I feel like we just need to learn. It's going to take reps. Like I said, we got 15 new guys, and that was our first time playing against somebody else instead of each other. So I feel like today was we may not have won the game, but I feel like it was a great step in the right direction to really see what we need to do and what we need to fix. And I'm happy about the future, to be honest. So I don't really have any real negative thoughts about tonight.
And on that line, walk us through your experience, not the outcome of the game, your first experience as a Tiger, being in this building, experience what the crowd's like. Walk us through that experience and how was that for you, your first time here?
Oh, it was a great experience. Me personally, I know I'm a very passionate player. So, after the first bucket, I'm screaming and yelling, and the crowd responded well to that, and it just made me more comfortable and just more grateful to be here. And I'm hopefully they still come out this year, and we're going to turn a lot of heads for sure.
For Doug, just similar to the previous question, for you to have the performance you had in that environment in a game that doesn't even count yet before the season starts, just what does that do for you going forward in your confidence?
I mean, we didn't really win, so it didn't really do nothing for me. I'm a leader. I can't really have too many downs, too many lows. I gotta, stay grounded, stay level-headed. So, my stats and stuff doesn't matter, as long as we win. But I had fun tonight. Win, lose, or draw. I had fun. My first time playing with these guys, and I like what we got. And moving forward, we fixed the things we need to fix, and we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Coach, right here, back here. Can you what's your thoughts on the pandemonium tonight, just leading into it? Could you feel it? And how proud are you for the city to show up and support the Tigers and St. Jude?
Yeah, no, this was, great for me being from Memphis and understanding the magnitude of this crowd coming out. Again, I said the biggest winner is St. Jude. But for me, just to feel the energy coming down the hallway, I can tell when the crowd is ready. I can tell the energy before walking out on the court. How the atmosphere is going to be, and I wanted these guys to see that. I just hope they don't judge us too harshly for this first game, especially getting out of hand at the end of the game. That, like Doug said, they'll still come out and support when the regular season starts, and we have bigger things to do moving forward. But it was a great crowd.
Penny, a bit of a follow-up to that. Obviously, all the hype around Cal coming back, and as a Memphis alum that has, from what we can tell, a good relationship with him. Just what were your general thoughts on the reception the fan base and the city gave to him tonight and the last couple days leading up to this?
No, it was great because that's what he deserved. He did a lot of great things in 9 years here, won a lot of ball games, brought a lot of great players to this city, and went deep in March and April. So, at the end of the day, him coming back, we appreciate this game and appreciate all the former players coming back. But, yeah, Cal coming back was a good deal. Thank you.